everyone, and welcome to the first of what we hope will become a series of regular dealer interviews. We've recently been reaching out to a lot of dealers to see how they're doing and learning a lot in the process, so we wanted to share some of those insights and best practices with all of you. Today, for our first interview, I'm here with Patrick Green, General Manager at Tobler Marina. And Pat, before we get started, can you give us a little background on who you are and the dealership and where you're located?
Yeah, so Tobler is located in North Idaho. We're in Hayden, Idaho, which is just a few miles north of Lake Coeur d'Alene. Our market is comprised of local people and second home people. A lot of folks from California, Seattle, and the Spokane market.
Okay. We posted a blog recently about a program that Tobler put in place to keep your team productive during the initial coronavirus stay-at-home order. Thankfully, right now as we speak, we have dealerships that are starting to get back to work, but we also have some folks who are still have a significant part of their staff working from home, and of course, none of us know what's going to happen in the future. So I thought it might be interesting for folks to hear what you guys did during that initial shutdown period. Can you tell us a little bit about the work from home program that you implemented and the thinking that went into it?
Yeah, so we got shut down right at the end of March, and it was, super fast situation. Had to make the decision to basically send everyone home. We wanted to retain our employees. So we came up with a work from home kind of program that was comprised of, MRAA training, manufacturer training, Yamaha sales training, lots of different items that that folks were able to do from home. And the whole concept was to keep our guys busy and, really making use of their time, because we decided to pay everyone for 2 weeks while we got shut down.
So when you designed the program, what were some of the challenges that you kind of had to work through?
Yeah, so we had a couple of guys that were still here working in the shop, and we kind of closed off different sections of the business. So the biggest challenge was culturally, how does that look when you have one guy here working and another guy getting paid to just kind of sit at home? So I think the biggest challenge was just navigating that. And luckily we were able to come up with some pretty concrete training options for the employees that were at home. The MRAA training was one of them. And what we did was we sat down with the supervisors and kind of laid out a training program for each individual employee.
Mm-hmm.
And that got sorry, my phone's kind of going off here.
Yeah, that's okay.
So yeah, if we had a detailer who was working from home, we would assign him 5 or 6 classes to go through on MRAA, and then some process training and process mapping that they could do while they're at home. And it was nice because we could I just sent an email to Nikki or Liz, and they could give us an update almost every couple of days on what our employees had completed. And then we were also having them follow up with us, or we were calling them about twice a day, just to kind of see where they were at, see how they were doing.
That's great. And what kind of benefits do you feel like you saw from the program?
It was interesting to get some of the technicians, some of the marine technicians and some of just the detail technicians, to get their perspective on kind of the macro view of the service department, the service writing end of it. We put some of them through the service writing training with Valerie Zebron and things like that. And just for them to kind of see the big picture of what it takes to talk to the customer and, to track an RO through the service department. I think it really helped those guys understand, what's going on at the counter.
Do you have any advice that you could give other dealers who might be thinking about doing something similar with their staffs?
Yeah, I think, the biggest thing is we kind of threw it together last minute. We had to. Um, if I had to do it again, I would outline a little bit stronger plan. I think we did a pretty good job at that, but you know, making sure that each employee is followed up with. We had 22 guys working at home. We still do have a couple that are at home right now, and making sure that somebody's calling them at least once or twice a day. We were getting email updates from pretty much everyone, and what I did was I put together a like a Tobler update email that went out to the whole store and just said, hey, Joe got this done today and Gary got this done today. And I think it really kind of helped tie everything together. People were sitting at home who maybe didn't do as much that day, saw that everyone else was doing more, which was, a good thing to see.
Yeah. Well, you and I have been talking over the last week or so, and you guys are getting busy again, which is great to hear. But even still, going forward, do you have thoughts about aspects of the program that you might continue and some version of it that might exist in the future?
Yeah, I think we're definitely going to continue the weekly email updates and almost probably daily email updates. Just from a department level, I think that goes a long way, just kind of keeping everyone in the loop. And the idea there is, to have each department supervisor kind of give a briefing on what they accomplished that day. Um, as far as working from home, we did make the decision culturally to pay everyone, for those 2 weeks that we were kind of shut down. And it ended up working out really well for us because after those 2 weeks, they adjusted the stay at home order and we were able to operate then as a curbside business. But if we had to go into that again, it would look a little different, I think. And really to get the material in front of those guys, it's tough. It's tough to do that. So
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing a little bit about your experience. I mean, I know it's an interesting time because we're all in somewhat of the same boat. And so hearing stuff that dealers have tried has been really valuable for us. And it's great to get it out there so that other people can learn from it. So really appreciate you being our first guest for these dealer conversations. And, best of luck. And we'll stay in touch as we go forward.
sounds good, man. I'm glad I was able to be the guinea pig.
All right. We'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good.